Okay, you could start.
This is Teddy from Gooseberry Bridge Farm.
What are we gonna do today?
Pull onions. I'm going to dig up some onions and show you the garden. Let's go.
All right, where are we going first?
First, we're going to pull some onions
Where are the onions?
in these beds.
Okay, show us.
Can you say it?
I will talk, yes. Okay, so we are pulling onions from these 3 raised beds. So far, we've got this many. Some of these are really big. I'm noticing a few things about the onions grown in the raised beds. Their roots are well over twice as long as most of the onions we've grown in the ground. I'm assuming that's because the dirt is softer, but also because these raised beds weren't kept as wet. That's a little tiny one. When we accidentally pulled a tiny carrot. Anyway, they weren't kept as wet, so they would have to stretch further down to get water. So we had 1 single row of carrots around the outside of this bed, and that bed. So it's making a lot more than I thought we would get from this one little area, especially several of these big ones. These are yellow sweet onions. Oh, now I'm showing you the weeds. Just trying to do 2 things at once. So after this, we will go inside, or into the porch, not really inside, and I will show you what we're doing with these onions.
In here.
About these beds more, and I will link them in the description. They're the Vago garden beds, and I really do like them. They're a little bit pricier than my little 1 foot tall Amazon beds, but they are, I believe, 17 inches tall. So, and they're very sturdy, very nice looking. I really do like them, and we fit a lot in these. This, I believe, is a 2 foot by 4 foot, and that is a 3 foot by 6 foot, maybe 5 foot, 3 by 5. I don't remember. And this is a 4 foot circle. Teddy's got the onions. So all of these onions were planted in here around the perimeter, and then we put carrots in the middle, which didn't germinate that great. And then all of these white flowers you see are radishes that have gone to seed, but we did pick a ton of radishes out of here. I was basically using radishes for weed control, and that worked really well.
Mommy.
I'm not sure. Oh, that's a big one, Teddy. Okay, put it in the basket. I'm not sure if the carrots are going to work out or not, because things are just kind of crazy in there, but we'll see. The onions definitely worked. The radishes definitely worked. So we'll have to just see what happens on the carrots. I've also got a little bit of basil and dill. There's a marigold, some other random stuff stuck in these beds. Okay, so our crate is full, so full that you can't see the crate. It's a bigger crate than that one. I think we may have missed a few onions in the mess back there, but I'm not really concerned about it, and we're in the sun right now. It'll be shady later. We'll come back and show you the other onions we still have to pull. There's some right there, you can see. There's some back here with the potatoes. There's this whole row. We also need to pull our potatoes, but it's hot. All right, Teddy and I are in our outdoor kitchen where we are curing our onions, and I'm going to show you that. All right, so we've been working on this for a week or so. It's a piece of, let's see if we can zoom in and see, it's 1 by 2 cage wire on a frame. I've got it attached there, you can see it. And there's a screened wall behind this. It's a screened porch. So let's see if we can see behind it. All right, maybe you can kind of see all the tails are back there like this, and they're drying. This one I just put on. I'm gonna put this one in soon. When they were really fresh, it was really hard to see all these holes, and also I was working on it at night when it was dark in the background. So I'm gonna try to fill as many of those holes as I can. The ones that are getting dry kind of tend to just fall off. when I mess with it. So that's why we've got a little pile of onions here at the window. We've also got our garlic hanging out here. We just harvested. There's some more over there. The outdoor kitchen is not done. I'm going to do a full tour when we are completely done setting it up. But we've got a griddle down there, Blackstone, and a green egg, and a refrigerator. The sink is over here. It's not hooked up yet. And we've got our gas range here with this lovely box on top of it to protect it from getting dirty, especially since we've been using it as an onion table. There's more onions down there. So now we're gonna work on this. What do you have?
Tiny chickens.
Tiny chickens. But how old are these chickens?
Like
July 2nd. We got them. They hatched on July 19th. June. Sorry, not in the future. They hatched on June 19th. These are our meat birds. They're Freedom Ranger color yields, but they are already the size of our 5-week-old silkies.
Bigger.
And much
Definitely
bigger.
bigger.
Well, size of. Anyway, we're putting them outside today. It's in the 80s, so they'll be fine.
Yeah.
They're gonna have some grass time. Okay, you can take them. All right, so just a little bit about why we cure onions. Up until a couple years ago, I never cured my onions because I didn't grow that many. I grew like a bowl full, and then I even when I tried to grow more, it just didn't really work out. But we just didn't grow in this kind of quantity, so we would pull them as we used them, which is fine, and we would also just freeze some or dehydrate them or something and use up all of what we had. The last year that I didn't cure them, we had a mixing bowl full of onions sitting out, and I didn't get them put in the freezer in time, and they all rotted, and I was very sad. So what curing your onions and garlic does, and by curing them, we're basically just leaving them out in this warm space that is well ventilated. I've got a fan blowing on them. The outside is right there, but we're totally in the shade. You don't want them to be out in the hot sun. Some people do cure their onions out in their garden, and they do fine with that if it's in a cooler climate or something, but not here. They would sunburn and turn mushy. I actually have one here that is squishy. I don't know if it stayed out too long or what's wrong with it, but it's got a squishy spot right here, and it's gross. And I lost one other one. My onions are really sticking out of the ground this year. I don't know, it's probably because I didn't plant them as deep, which you're not supposed to plant them that deep. You can see the lines on them here, like where the dirt was, and not much, like this one, that much of the onion was out of the ground. So you could pretty much tell how big they were. But anyway, we were pretty much done with putting onions on this board. I've got all these here, and then the next row that we're gonna dig up is the ones that are planted with my tomatoes. If you've been watching my garden videos, you would have seen those. And they will, I think I'm gonna lay them out on this windowsill, which is more like how we did them last year. So if you don't need to use vertical space, you can use something like this. We'll just lay them like staggered here, because these are tiny onions. But the others that are left are big, so we'll probably put 2 or 3 deep across with the greens hanging out. I'll have to clean up the rest of our construction stuff, and I think we'll be able to fit them in here if we do that. But otherwise, anyway, they'll stay in here for a few weeks, and then we will be able to put them inside. Ideally, they would move from here to like a root cellar, like 55, 60 degrees. We don't have anything like that. So they'll go from here to air conditioning, and then we will start rapidly preserving them as the time allows. I say rapidly, but also it's not going to be that rapid. But we, in the meantime, also we'll just be eating these small onions, like these little guys are always the first to go. So we'll eat those first, and all these down here. Well, my focus is gone again. And then we'll work on our wall. And then the garlic is the same kind of thing. It does better at room temperature than onions do, but it still would prefer to be colder. But we will either use or preserve by freeze drying or dehydrating or making garlic salt, the garlic, by the time it's time to plant garlic. That worked well for us last year. We plant garlic about the 1st of November. So if it's not used up or preserved by then, it goes in the ground. And also with the garlic, we'll be using these first. The hard neck garlic doesn't keep as long. Yep, that's a garlic that broke, buddy. The hard neck garlic stores less time than the soft neck, but I think we have mostly hard neck this year, and I think when I was going through our, like this is the hard neck. The hard neck garlic is the one that when you open it up, there is a stick in the middle, which I think you can almost see in this one. Where's my focus? There's like a stick coming out in the middle, and the cloves are on the side. This one is broken open. And got different colors in it. These I trimmed up the roots when I hung them up, and then we got lazy here, so I haven't trimmed the roots on the rest. Anyway, plant garlic, we'll do that. We'll talk about planting garlic later. We don't have time to pick all the onions today, but Teddy has one he really wants to get out of this row. Are you looking at all of them before you pick? Oh, wait, that one's not bent over, is it? Okay, so how do you tell if onions are ready?
They're bent over.
They're bent over. Check that one right there.
Where?
Is this one? And if they're not all bent over, that's okay. But since we're not picking this whole row, we don't want to pick one that's not bent over. It could get bigger. Pick one that's bent over if you want to get one giant one. As you can see, most of these are bent over. Definitely over 50%. So we are going to, that is a pretty big onion, Daddy. Brush off the dirt. Okay, do you want to put it in the basket?
Yeah. The tiny stems on it.
All right.